Whether you're a tennis player or a tennis coach, if you feel as though your training sessions could be a little bit better, then this video is for you, as I've just launched a brand new tennis product for you. It's called the Tennis Training Deck. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the story behind it, why I made it, how I created it, and I'm going to answer some of the questions that I've already had about the deck, including what you actually get in the deck, where I'm shipping it to, and how you can make the most out of it. Let's get into it. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name's Ashley and I've run this channel since the pandemic, but my full-time job is I'm a tennis coach and I've been coaching for around 20 years, working with players from TOTS all the way through to tour. And as well as coaching players, I'm also a tutor for the LTA, meaning that I coach coaches as well. And over these 20 years of coaching, I've delivered and seen some great coaching sessions and also some bad ones. And what I've found really makes the difference between good sessions and great sessions is having a plan and some kind of structure. And as coaches and players and human beings, we're creatures of habit. We have our favorite drills that we do time and time again and often get stuck in a bit of a rut, doing the same things but expecting different results. Over the years, I've kept a note of my favorite and most effective drills, both as a player and as a coach working with players, with the aim of one day actually writing a book. However, as the years have passed, I've never really prioritized the time to sit down and do it. But one day last summer, I was listening to a podcast about a YouTuber that merged his passion of cooking with his passion of manga, Japanese comic books. And he created manga themed recipes in the form of cards. And at that moment, a light bulb switched in my head. I knew exactly what I wanted to create for the tennis world, and my idea for the Tennis Training Deck was born. I got to work straight away, organizing all of the drills that I'd previously written down and adding more detail to them, making them more readable for other people, not just me. I also wanted to make sure that these drills weren't just random drills, but they actually fitted into 3 different categories. Activator drills, which were designed to warm up your brain and your body. Cooperative drills that you could do with another player at the other end. And competitive drills to put all of those things into practice on the match court. Alongside organizing all of these drills and putting them into writing, I also sketched out diagrams for each one and gave them to my team of coaches and used them with my players to test them out. A question that kept coming up from the select few people that I told about the Tennis Training Deck was, why don't you make it into an app? And honestly, I was against that from the start. I wanted to create something that was tactile, something that you can hold and keep in your tennis bag. Not just another app that gets downloaded and forgotten about. I also really dislike coaches and players having their phones out on court unless it's used for filming them for feedback. It's a distraction. Having these in the form of cards allows you to get inspiration from them and to plan your session while staying in the present moment. Now, who knows where this will go in the future, but right now I'm really pleased that I've kept it as a physical product. Anyway, whilst I was drawing out these sketches and refining the drills, I had an additional idea that would make these sessions even more productive. As when I'm working with my players, it's really important that they have an intention on every drill that they do. They're not just doing the drill for the sake of it, they're doing it for a reason. And so alongside the 48 drills that I created, I also created 6 focus cue cards. Players pick one of these focus cards to set their intention for the rest of the session, maximizing their productivity whilst keeping things simple. I had boxes and cards of different sizes and qualities sent to me from different manufacturers in the UK, and figured that normal poker size playing cards were a little bit too small to put the detail onto each one. So I went for tarot card size. And as far as boxes went, I didn't want one of these tuck boxes, as I know that these are going to be quite flimsy and are going to deteriorate quite quickly. So instead, I opted for a rigid box like this. My one's got thumb holes on here just to make it a little bit easier to open and close. Then I mocked up the cards and printed them onto paper, using them with my players and coaches to get even more feedback. The coaches absolutely loved them, but what surprised me most was how our junior players reacted to them. They were so pumped every time we got these cards out. In fact, they were more energized, motivated, and engaged than ever before. Once I knew it was a hit, I linked up with a graphic designer to put my rough sketches and instructions into a clean, polished design. Now this bit actually took the longest, as I was really picky about how these diagrams looked. Although they might look quite simple, It's the basic things like getting the arrows pointing the right direction, making sure the players are hitting underarm or overarm to make the drill really, really clear for you guys to see. And because there's 48 different drills, you can imagine how long this took. But finally, after months of tweaking and finalizing, the tennis training deck was finally born, and I really couldn't be happier with the finished product. Now, the product has been live on my website for just over a week now, and I've been completely blown away by the response. I had no idea how this was going to go, but my website crashed and more orders came in than I had stock for, and so I've had to order more. Now, during this process, I've had tons of questions about the deck. I've done a Q&A over on Instagram and put some frequently asked questions on my website, but I'm going to answer the most popular ones right here. The first being, will these be available worldwide? And the answer is yes. These are going to be able to be shipped anywhere in the world. There have been a couple of countries that didn't show up on the website. If that does happen to you for your country, just drop me a direct message and I'll be sure to add it. So far, I've had orders from over 20 different countries, which is mind-blowing. Next question is, who is the deck for? Now, every single drill in this deck I've designed for 2 tennis players, whether that's a tennis player with a tennis coach or a tennis player with their sparring partner. What this isn't suitable for is somebody playing on their own with a ball machine. Now, I've done this for a reason. As you already know, I'm a big fan of ball machine use when you have to use a ball machine, but anytime you can, you should try to play with another human being, as nothing compares to that. But I am considering making a ball machine edition later down the line. Let me know in the comments if that will be interesting to you. But as far as what players this is suitable for, it's really for intermediate to advanced players, as quite a few of these drills in the deck aren't suitable for beginners. Now, of course, if you are a beginner, you can by all means give it a go, but some of these drills might be extremely challenging. Just like the ball machine deck, there could be a beginner's deck later down the line. Next up, what is actually inside the deck? First of all, there's a welcome card, an instruction card, basically how you can build your best session yet. And then we've got the 4 different colored cards. So we've got blue, which are focus cards. You're going to pick one of these at the start of your session to set your intention. Next up, we've got these green cards, which are the activator cards. These are full of warm-up drills that warm up your brain and your body. You can pick 1 or 2 of these to start your session well. Then we've got yellow cards. These cards are cooperative drills. So again, pick 2 to 3 of these to really hone your consistency and accuracy working with your partner. And then finally, you'll pick 2 to 3 of these game cards. And these are competitive drills that you'll do against your partner. Now, on every drill card, you'll see at the top, you've got the name of the drill. Then underneath it, you've got a diagram of how the drill is executed. And then just by my finger here, you've got the instructions, followed by a tip or 2 underneath. And then right at the bottom of the card, you've got what equipment you're going to need for that drill, which leads us on to the next question: what equipment do you need? Now, most of the drills, you don't need any equipment apart from yourself, your rackets, and your tennis balls. However, there are a few cards that require 2 additional pieces of equipment, one being cones and the other being throwdown lines. Now, I know that all coaches will have this equipment, but I know that some players may not. And don't worry, you can use other items from your tennis bag. Quite often, instead of using cones for a target, it could be that you use your drinks bottle, it could be that you use a ball can or something similar. And as far as throwdown lines go, if you play on a clay court, that's easy enough to mark out. But if not, I've used things in the past like single sticks or net measure sticks, or even my jumper on the court, just to separate different zones. But I wanted to include these drills that do require 1 or 2 pieces of equipment, as they're so effective. And the final question is a little bit more broad: how do you use the deck? Now, this deck can be used in tons of different ways. For me, as a coach, I've already used it in 3 main different ways. Number 1 is I will hand pick the drills that I want to use with my player before the session starts. So for you as a player or a coach, you can do it in the same way. Sit down for 5 minutes before you get on court to hand pick the ones that you want to work on for your session and that link to the things that you want to develop. The second way I've used it is I've picked a slightly bigger selection of drills, maybe 2 or 3 for each topic that I want to cover, and then I'd let my player pick their favorite one from those. This just helps to give my player a little bit more autonomy and ownership over their tennis. And the third way is a little bit more fun, and it's done completely random. The kids absolutely love this. And what we've done in our kids groups that's worked really, really well is the player that's worked the hardest in the previous drill gets to select one at random, the coach gets to select one at random, and then the player gets to choose to stick or twist their card. Basically, you can use these cards how you like. Handpick them for more structure or pick them at random for more fun. And finally, this question's coming more from coaches, but can you use this in a group coaching setup? Absolutely yes. Because all of these drills are designed for 2 players, if I've got a group of 8, I'll pair the players up and they'll do the drill together with their partner. Honestly, I'm just so proud of how these have turned out, and I can't wait for you to get your hands on it and to tell me what you think. If you're interested, I've put a link to my website in the description below. And if you've got any questions about it, feel free to drop it in the comments and I'll get back to all of you. And also, if you've already pre-ordered yours, let me know in the comments below along with what country you're from. Thanks so much for watching all the way through to the end of the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.